Good morning, viewer. It's Tuesday, actually the 10th of January. Yesterday's video, I started off by saying I thought it was Monday, the 10th of January. That was a mistake. I was thinking about a couple of things. We had planned of doing a best of 2022 episode. I still have to get that together. I have to find the software that'll either, because I think my viewer lives very far from me, at least an hour and a half, I think. And we want to do an episode, the best of 2022. I think there were 3 episodes. I can tell you, like spoilers ahead here, I am sure 1 Minute of Ducks is going to win, hands down, the best content of 2022. But I want to do the entire, like the whole thing, the vote. I got to put the poll up. I will probably put the poll up. I might put it up today in preparation for doing the best of 2022 special, and I'll let all of my viewer, or at least my 1 subscriber, vote on the best content of 2022. But another thing I was thinking about was to torture my viewer. I want to do at least one episode where, and it's detrimental to the channel. I want to do an episode where the viewer is actually in it, kind of like a Facebook Live where you can bring people in to the video. So the only problem with that, I think it would be great. I think it would be a lively debate. It would be very interesting. I have a very smart viewership. Is that the only person that would be interested in watching it wouldn't watch that one because they were in it, so they would already know the content. So it's viewership disaster if I go down that route, but I still think it would be funny. It is very cold this morning. Why do I not have the heat on? What's wrong with me? I don't know how to turn it on. There we go. Good enough. Oh no, the light is off, so I'm not going to even try to get a coffee at McDonald's. I'm going to look longingly in the direction of the McDonald's, but nope, nobody's there. I left a little earlier than I normally do. Yeah, normally I left earlier than I normally do. I haven't had coffee yet, so forming words is like a big ordeal. I say that every morning. I say, I've got brain fog, I can't think straight, I haven't had coffee, I'm tired. And that's because it's all true. It's early, I'm tired, I have brain fog, and I haven't had coffee yet, and I can't think straight. So if you want to know why I keep saying that, that's the reason. It's because it's true. I could just end the video here. It would make everyone's life so much easier. I did think about writing down bullet points today. Thought about it yesterday and this morning as I was getting ready, and I even left the house with enough time to jot some stuff down, but I didn't. So right now I'm just verbally treading water until a thought appears in my head. I really got to try that cheesesteak place. I can never remember the name of it. I wrote it down. Carmelo's? I'm going to go with Carmelo's for now. I'm sure it's wrong because I butcher names all the time. But a buddy of mine at work turned me onto this cheesesteak place. It is unbelievable. It's like a sleeper. Like, I've never heard of it before, but they make this amazing, like, it's so dense. Like, he was going over, so he said, "You want one?" Yeah. Like, I gave him money. He brought me one back. This thing was a brick. It was incredibly, I'm pretty sure it's like Carmelo's or something like that. I won't remember. Even if I remember, I won't be sure of the name during this video, but I'll try to remember to post it in the comments after I get to work and talk to him, or if I find my little note, because I wrote it down because I knew I wouldn't remember the name. Watch it actually be Carmelo's. But yeah, it was heavy, dense, packed with, like, it was, and it was good. Like, it wasn't just a lot. It was a very, very tasty cheesesteak. You want to talk sandwiches? No. Oh, got to yeah. Stream of consciousness nonsense. I saw a cheesesteak place I hadn't tried yet. It won't be as good as Carmel. This is hands down, like the best. Like if you're using a bunch of categories, how much meat you get, how well it's cooked, the quality. So sometimes you go to these cheesesteak places and they just they really use this stringy, gristly, like low rent meat, and like this is a dense sandwich filled with really well cooked, good quality meat. So yeah, enough about that. Like you're all like, yeah, great, but you're not telling us the actual name of the place. How are we going to get one? You're not. I will. When I get to work, it's after I post the video. I will put it in the comments, obviously. It takes a really long time to upload these videos, and then after they're uploaded, it takes a while for them to process. So I make these videos during the day, obviously early in the morning, sometime between 5 and 6 o'clock. Between 5 and 7 o'clock is when this video is being recorded, and it takes, because I'm remote, it takes most of the day to upload it, and then after it's uploaded, it goes through a processing process. It doesn't take me long to do what I do to it to destroy the video, to make it green and pixely, but it takes a really long time to upload it. I really do want to try that experiment where I upload it in its raw form without doing that post-processing. I said I wanted to do it yesterday, and I said I wouldn't, and I didn't. I processed it, and then I uploaded it. But I think today I will upload it in its natural state, and just see if that makes a difference. I can't imagine it does. I haven't looked. I'm imagining the file size is the same. Why it would add size when it's really degrading the video is beyond me, but who knows. I'd ask people to vote on whether they wanted to do this or not, but this isn't live, it's a recording, so nobody can actually vote. I could vote, I'm here. And I'm leaning towards posting this raw, so I think I will do that today. And see what the viewership thinks. Like I said, I don't know if I said this in the videos or I said it to my viewer at one point, but I'm nervous about changing anything about the format for this part of the series of videos that I'm making for my subscriber, because I know when formats change, viewership dies off. And if I lose one more subscriber, well, not more, I haven't lost any yet, but if I lose one subscriber, I'll have no subscribers. It's a cat. It's a cat. Silly cat crossing the street. Didn't hit him. Too cold out there for cats to be wandering around. So format change. So there was a many moons ago, there was a TV show called Wheel of Fortune. You might have been familiar with it. It's probably still airing. I think it's still got Pat Sajak. He must be some kind of cyborg or something. Anyway, Pat Sajak, for a brief period of time, had a late night talk show, competing with other late night talk people. This was a lot of years ago. Empires have risen and fallen since this happened. I gotta hit the front window. Ooh, too loud. But it was, I forget, I think it was 90 minutes. Like, the original thing was a 90-minute show. And it seemed like it made sense. You're always going to have that demographic of people that, like Pat Sajak. He's a likable character. I remember it was done the standard night show thing. He had the desk and he had guests and stuff like that. And I guess it didn't have a lot of ratings initially, which makes sense. It's a new show. It had a really, I remember it was a really late time slot because I got in trouble for watching it. Not so much from my parents, just in life in general, because I had to stay up so late to watch the Pat Sajak show. I'm a teenager. I'm I don't know, somewhere between 12 and 18. So you can tell I was a boring kid. because I had to figure out ways to stay up late to watch the Pat Sajak show. What the hell is wrong with me? So anyway, the show didn't get a lot of viewership. There was something wrong with it, so they decided to change the format. And it went from being this like talk show based thing to this horrific round robin thing where like they had the people, I think they were like sitting in a circle. I might be remembering this wrong, but they had them like sitting in a circle or a semicircle and having a conversation among themselves. And I don't think they really thought out the camera angles. And I remember watching it and feeling like, like I feel excluded from the conversation. It was like probably the worst format change I've ever seen. Like other shows have done this where they go through, like they'll get a different stage. It'll be the same exact setup, but like they'll change the lighting and things like that, and the show will just look different. It'll feel different because the lighting is different. And I'm thinking it was Seinfeld that had that. Like there was like the first few episodes had a certain feel, and then it changed. There was a couple of things that went on with Seinfeld, like like I believe that did happen. Like I don't know if they actually changed stages, kept it the same, but there was like slight differences, lighting and stuff like that. But there was also the characters getting into their character. Like there was a change from the first few episodes as the show went on. People got more comfortable and like really started to flesh out their characters and make decisions about who this character was. And that's not exactly the same thing, but it is a change. I think that goes the other way. That's actually one of those ones where I think the show became more watchable when the characters became more into their. I never found it. I don't like Seinfeld. I'm that guy out there that never liked Seinfeld. I will watch it. I will laugh at it. I'm not saying I'm like stone-faced against it. It's reprehensible. I just didn't like it. I didn't like, and it's funny that the whole premise is it's about the people, and I just didn't like the people, the characters, not the people in real life. The characters they played, they were just unlikable, unwatchable asses. Yes, it was the situations were funny, but I mean, like, don't take my word for it. Like, don't let me hedge your decision if you haven't watched Seinfeld already. It's a very good show. Lots and lots of people like it. Like this is advice coming from the same guy that does like How I Met Your Mother, which I've heard is a horrible, horrible show, but I like it. I also like Futurama. I thought I heard that they were going to be making even more episodes of Futurama, and then I haven't heard anything about that. Might have been just a troll, or maybe they just haven't made them yet. I don't know. Ooh, now it's too hot in here. Is it too early for Dunkin' Donuts? I definitely need coffee. The light is on. There's a guy in there. No traffic. Going around the curve. What the fuck is this? There's a guy just stopped. He's not even up to the microphone. Or a girl. Where they just finally pulled up the speaker. What was I on about? You can't tell me because this is a recording. Seinfeld. How I Met Your Mother. Oops. New episodes. A large black coffee, please.
No problem. Anything else, sir?
That's it.
No matter.
Okay. I probably could have made a pot of coffee at home this morning. I had enough time. Getting coffee on order is an expensive habit, especially for stopping at Dunkin' Donuts. I think it's like $3 and something. I had said it was $1.09 at McDonald's, but it's like $2 something. You heard them yesterday, $2.18 or something like that. Still cheaper than here, but they're not open. Good, how are you? Thank you. You too. I've had a lot of luck at this Dunkin' Donuts, like most Dunkin' Donuts. There's a Dunkin' Donuts up by where I live, which consistently has bad, slow service and terrible coffee. Like, I don't know how they do it, but I hope they keep it up. They, I don't know how you screw it up. Like, every other Dunkin' Donuts is fine. This one, like, again, maybe I am a bit of a coffee snob, but the coffee at the one near me, it takes for what is going on with these phones in my pocket? I had a dream this morning, like in the last few minutes before I woke up, that I had this phone right here, the one that I'm talking to you on. I had gotten out of bed and I dropped it. It's got a leather case on it. The little leather case you buy at Apple. I want to say cheap, but it wasn't cheap because I bought it at Apple. It's expensive, thin leather case, which has saved this phone from multiple drops. Like, I've become extremely clumsy as of late. I'm dropping things constantly. I don't know what the hell that's about. Probably part of the mental decline of old age. But I had a dream. I dropped it, like, not far, like from hip height to the floor, and it shattered. Like shattered, like all the glass, both sides just shattered. I don't even think there's glass in the back of the phone anymore, and it shattered. And just fell apart, like just utterly decimated it. Till it was just a bunch of floppy parts flapping in the breeze. It was still working too. And like, what's weird about the dream, the only reason I'm mentioning it, well, at least now I'm just gonna make this up as the reason I'm mentioning it, because this isn't the reason I started, but the glass, like I was trying to carefully slide the glass off of, like, you know, the mess of phone into a pile. I don't know why. Maybe I'm thinking I can, like, you know, I gotta get rid of the glass. So anyway, I'm feeling the little pieces of glass, and they're like cutting my fingertip, and it's like, and I think I'm thinking to myself, I'm not supposed to be feeling the glass in a dream. So it was like one of those lucid dreams where, like, I was way too lazy to take advantage of the fact that it was a lucid dream, you know, like fly around or I can't fly in my dreams, but I can hover and I can slide, but I can't fly. Sad. Like, I can do feats of superhuman strength, lift cars, throw them, but I can't fly. I can get about an inch above the ground, and I can slide in any direction at whatever speed I want to, but I can't actually fly, which is weird. And I've talked to other people about this, and it's not completely uncommon, because I've met a couple of other people that when they're dreaming, whether it's lucid dreaming or just in a dream, they also can't fly, but they can slide or glide at a good clip. So I was talking about coffee. Yeah, terrible service at the Dunkin' Donuts near me. The line doesn't move. I don't know what happens inside. And then when you get the coffee, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not burnt. It's just, it tastes like, it's like they're reusing the grounds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to refill the whole thing with new grounds, just half and half. It'll still taste like coffee. I have no idea what they're doing. I'm making that up. I don't want you to think I'm like, oh yeah, they're reusing grounds. That's a terrible thing to say. but it's bad. It's been consistently bad. I got coffee here once, and it was terrible. Like it tasted like mop bucket water. It was awful. I couldn't drink. I literally could. It was so bad. I couldn't drink it. And I actually do like certain kinds of bad coffee. Like I like beer that's gone skunky. I like that weird ass flavor. I like coffee when it's slightly burnt. I mean, I don't set out to burn coffee, but that burnt taste that you sometimes get with a coffee pot that's been sitting there for way too many hours, there's something about that bitter taste that I like. Like the same thing with skunky beer. There's a bitterness there that I really enjoy, and I know it's bad beer. Like, oh, how can you drink that? Like, it's like, everybody's got their quirks, but I do like that. I like skunky beer. I like burnt coffee. In case you're looking for Christmas gifts, skunky beer and burnt coffee. Many thousands of years ago, I used to smoke. I think most people experimented, like the people in my generation experimented with smoking when they were cigarettes, just regular cigarettes. And it was funny, talking about bitter and stale. I started smoking, can't remember if it was Lucky Strike or Camel Unfiltered. It was one of those. It was either Lucky Strike or Camel Unfiltered. So me and my buddy would buy a pack, we'd open it, and we'd throw it in one of my desk drawers in my bedroom, and let it sit a month, let it come up to temperature, and we'd let them get really stale, and then we'd smoke them. Smoke Camel Unfiltered stale cigarettes, and we thought it was the shit. Like, this is good stuff. No, it wasn't good stuff. It was absolutely horrible, but we thought it was good, so it was good. I mean, we didn't smoke a whole pack. Like, it was a rare thing. I was never a big smoker. Like, when I started hanging out in bars, I'd smoke like too much. If I made it through a pack of cigarettes in a single day, I was destroyed the next day. It would just make me physically ill. Like the whole, thing you see a kid green around the gills, and it's like, oh, I feel so sick. Like no tolerance for that stuff. Like, it was the same thing with alcohol. Like I couldn't make it through a couple of beers without getting knockout drunk. Like now I can drink a handle of whiskey without an issue, but as long as I've eaten something. But yeah, no tolerance, and that's kind of why I don't like taking medications. They affect me too strongly. Like I have a bad back for various reasons. There's a lot of things. I'm very poorly constructed. There's a lot of things wrong with me. Like I've got constant chronic pain, but it goes untreated because I don't like medications. When my back gets really bad, like I have emergency cyclobenzaprine, which is like a Flexerol, like a generic form of Flexerol. It's a muscle relaxant. But even if I break that pill into a quarter and take it, I turn into an absolute zombie. I just go into La La Land, and I hate that. I like to drink, but I don't like drugs to make me all dopey. So there's that. We've looked at different things I could do for my back, fusion, killing the nerves, which I always thought was like a bad idea. Like, what we can do, instead of you being in pain, we can make you numb from like the mid-back down. That just sounds like a bad idea. So I've done nothing. I just I've got this base level of pain that I've learned to live with. I don't really much talk about anymore. So people probably think, oh, he's better. Like, no, I'm still in constant pain. But I'm tired of whining about it because there's really no solutions. I did do the back injections many years ago, and that worked out great for about a decade. I did them again recently, and it didn't really help. I think it's progressed beyond where the injections are really going to do anything. There's there's massive structural problems back there. So anyway, I won't dwell on that. Back to the viewership. Where was I? I was talking about TV shows. I was talking about the end of the year wrap up. Like I've really got to schedule that. I really don't want January to get away from me. So what I need to do, like I was messing around with my viewer, and I was trying to find a cheap and easy way to cobble together a way for us to, do like a collab with the two of us on screen and the videos, like, how most, like a lot of people will do. They'll show stuff, but they're down in the corner. I wanted to do that, so I tried to record my screen. Like I called him using Teams. It's weird, like, because this video is for my viewer, and again, I'm talking about him to someone about him, and he's going to get indignant again. It's like, who are you talking to? Like, I'm clearly not talking to you. But I need to get a piece of software that'll allow us to make a video call or record ourselves, but both of us be on one of our screen, well, my screen, so that I can record us reacting. Well, so we can do the best of, but I also want to do a reaction video to my videos. In fact, this one would probably be good because I'm talking about doing the reaction video. So if I do a reaction video to the video where I'm talking about a reaction video, I think we could get some really good reactions. Like it's a recursive humor thing. It's dumb for me to do a reaction video to my own video and post it on my own page. Like I think I may have talked about this in another video where I don't really like reaction videos, because what you're doing is you're taking someone else's content and you're just kind of splashing your face on it and playing it to get views. But if I play a reaction video to my own video, I mean, to one degree, it's cheap because I'm rehashing content, but at least I'm not stealing someone else's content for views. If you follow me. Even if you don't, I know what I mean. So I have to find a piece of software that's going to allow me to do that. Well, like I said, I tried to do it with really cheap way. Like I said, I did a Teams call. I moved the window. I rearranged my monitor so that I could move the Teams window up to the top, so that we were just in the squares up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. And then Windows Control R to record, and it just didn't work. It records an active window. It doesn't record the actual screen, and I think that might have something to do with my graphics card, the GeForce taking over, and because now when you hit Windows Control R, I think it's recording it for like either the Xbox that's built into the computer or something like that, so that you can do so you can post like so you can post not screenshots but screen grabs of content. So, or maybe that's just the way Windows Control R works. It only records the active window. It doesn't record the desktop. I can't use Teams directly. Like I could, but it wouldn't be the same. Because I guess we could. Anyway, I just gotta find a piece of software that'll work and it'll make it prettier. I don't know. Like I don't want to get in trouble. Like Teams isn't meant for that, and I don't know. I've got the home version. I got the home game, so it's not. There's certain things you can't do with it. Like you can't record, like, because I don't have the. You need certain licenses. You need certain Microsoft licenses in order to record meetings. Then it's any one of a number of licenses, but you have to have those licenses, and you have to have, I guess, the professional version of Teams, like I use at work and stuff like that. I'm not using my work stuff. I'm just using my personal computer and things like that, so I don't have all those little bells and whistles I can turn on, and I definitely don't want to use my work stuff for personal stuff for various reasons. someday ask me and I'll list a bunch of them for you. Some of them are pretty obvious. I did call my viewer yesterday to tell him that I initially said that, like, I said in the video, and I said in the title that yesterday's video wasn't worth watching. I scrolled through it and actually ended up watching the bulk of it with corporate yesterday, and I thought there was a lot more content than I gave myself credit for. Like, it was more than zero. It's just slightly more than zero, which I thought was worth watching. Not for any normal person to sit down for an hour and a half and watch me ramble on endlessly, but I thought it was better than I had thought it at the time, because I was very tired. I was yawning constantly. I really thought at the end that, like, it was just an hour and a half of me yawning and just mumbling with giant gaps in between the conversation, but it wasn't. Somehow I ended up rambling the entire time. Hairs in my suit coat. So today is Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow I work remotely. As I said in my previous video, I've got to talk to my boss about possibly ramping that up, because I could use the extra sleep. I'm talking about being tired and I start yawning. Coffee's cool enough to drink yet. But yeah, when I work from home, I can get at least, like, I may not, like, I have the option of sleeping for at least an extra hour, or at least the option of not getting out of bed. I will probably wake up, get a little more sleep, but I won't get the full hour. I mean, in theory, I could probably get 2 hours of sleep, because there's if I don't have to go to work, there's certain things I don't have to do. So yeah, like when I work remotely, I can get 2 hours extra of sleep and still start my workday an hour early, which is nice. There's I mentioned to my boss the other day an idea I had for productivity. It's an old idea. Like, I was actually looking at it. It wasn't on my work computer, because since I came up with it, I've gotten a new laptop. At one point, I had to transfer all my files off my computer. At one point, I cloned my personal files off my computer onto my server at home. And just recently, I think I talked about it in one of the first videos, I had to shut down my NAS because it was a very old NAS, 2-bay. Had I think it had a 2 terabyte drive in it, just one slot, 2 terabyte, 1.5, 2 terabyte drive. Can't remember exactly what size it was. And anyway, I transferred all those files to my new computer, which has solid state drives. It's a really nice rig. Anyway, so that file, it's called I named it something awkward to say. There's something wrong with this. The initials are PIP, P-I-P. It's a Productivity Incentivizement Program. And what it is it's a way to allow guys in the shop to work multiple machines and get compensated for running multiple machines. The way it works is you've got the guy's getting his base pay. Let's say he's there for 8 hours a day. In the scenario I'm using, I think it's 10 hours, and I made a note to myself that I have to fix the equation when I get to work, because I'm paying him, in the math, I'm paying him 10 hours straight time, but 2 of those hours are time and a half, because it's a 10-hour day. So anyway, he's running a machine. Like, he's getting paid for 10 hours. That's your base rate. Whether you're on a job or not, you're getting paid because you're there. That's just the way it works. You should be productive. We should have work for you. Anyway, so the guy's there for 10 hours. He's got a job. in order to take advantage of the PIP program, you have to, you have to agree. Like, you have to say, hey, I want to do PIP. I want to run another job at the same time I'm running this job. It's CNC equipment, so you can set it up, run it, and then you can go to another machine, set it up, and run it. Like, there are certain things you have to be at the machine for. You have to, if you're walking through a program, if you know anything about CNC, you know the reasons why you have to be. You can't just run it and leave it unmonitored. I mean, some shops do. Some shops will set up 10 machines, and they have it set up in such a way that they can just do runs and then come back and unload and put up the next piece. We're a job shop, so there's not a lot of hit the button and walk away. So anyway, during the course of the day, you're running your base job. You're getting your normal pay. You're running a job, and you decide you want to take advantage of the PIP program. What you do is you pick another job that is ready to be run on a machine that's currently not manned or nobody's running it, which is the same thing, said a different way. But it's there's another work center you can take advantage of. There's work there that we need. Like, this is a lot of things have to align for this to work. We may not allow people to take advantage of the PIP program if, it's just it's throughput. So maybe we'll do it either way, because either way, it's a win-win situation. The employee makes more money, and we get more throughput. And so like you're saying, sometimes throughput's not a good thing. Like, that's not true. Throughput's always a good thing. If you can get stuff through faster, that's great. You're just not like, well, you'll run out of work. Well, you gotta fix it on the back end. Get more work in there. Throughput's need it. Anyway, so he wants to do a second job. So there's a bunch of factors that go into play. He's got his base job, which is a certain amount of time. He has to meet certain criteria. He can't drop below a certain efficiency. So that it has a couple of advantages. One, the guy will start looking at the rate and thinking about whether or not it's an accurate rate, because a lot of our rates are highly inaccurate. So in order to take advantage of the PIP program, in order to make money, you have to get at least a certain percentage of efficiency, and you also have to get a certain percentage of uptime efficiency, meaning that it's something I built in to stop us from accidentally or intentionally scamming the system, meaning that if you're running your base job and then you're taking advantage of the PIP program, like, you could, in theory, clock into the second job, clock right out of it, and then at the end of the day, once the piece is done, clock back into the second job, and your efficiency is fantastic because it was a 4-hour run and you did it in 15 minutes. Obviously, the program will be capped at 100% efficiency, because in reality, you can't be at more than 100% efficient. If you're more than 100% efficient, then we figured something out wrong, because 100% efficiency means this is the best. I understand in our environment it's a sliding scale, because we set the rates and they're not exact. So people can do better on certain jobs. People will beat the rate. Like, it either wasn't calculated right, or it's just calculated for the top 80% of the men, and you've always got those superstars in the shop that are just bulldogs and will plow through work. I like those guys. So anyway, so there's this equation I came up with. You've got your base rate, which is just the basic equation. It's the guy's hourly rate times the number of hours he works. He's got his regular job, which is anything he happens to be working on or not working on. He's still getting the same rate. The PIPs, the way they work is they are based on the efficiency at which they do the second job. It only qualifies for PIP when the hours overlap, meaning that he has to be clocked into at least one other job while he's clocked into the other job. There can be gaps, meaning that if there's 4 hours that he's on the PIP job, and only 2 of those hours overlap with another job, well, those 2 hours will qualify for PIP. So he will get the money. Now, like I said, the money is based on his hourly rate times the efficiency times the uptime efficiency for the entire day. Meaning that between all the jobs he works on, uptime efficiency is like over the span of time, start to end on those jobs, how much time was he actually clocked into those jobs, all added up at the end of the day. So, you know, when you multiply percentages by percentages, they get lower, but it doesn't, like, as long as you're being relatively efficient, it doesn't affect it that much. But anyway, that's it. Like, so the scenario I'm going to present to my boss shows 3 jobs running over the course of the day: the base job that he's on, and then 2 PIP jobs that he jumps on during the course of the day. And I showed every scenario where there's dead time, there's time where the PIP job isn't working, and I'm showing how my spreadsheet would calculate the time. So, like, there's a separate spreadsheet I'm not going to bring, which is where I take the guys, and my wife had a brilliant idea, because I was thinking I could have to do this on a daily basis, and it's going to get very complex with you know, figuring out what jobs, blah blah blah. But then I realized you don't have to pay them. This could be a monthly thing. This could be, like, you know, it's basically a bonus. It's a PIP bonus, and you know, like, if he's on a long run job, like if he's on an 88-hour job on the one machine, and he's knocking out these other jobs, like, you know, I can wait until all these jobs close that are intertwined, and once they close, it's very easy to figure out the PIP based on, like, those criteria. And I'll give them free access. Like, I'll put it up, like, on a daily basis. I'll show, like, this is the hours you were clocked into this is how it works. There's a lot of obstacles to overcome to get this through to the guys, because no matter what you do, like, well, this seems unfair. It's like, you're getting more money. Like, I don't know, nothing unfair about it. It's just a concept where it's like, if you want to make more money, here's a way to do it. Obviously, the guy's going to say, well, if I'm working on 2 jobs, I want double pay. That doesn't help anyone, because now we're paying you twice as much, but the job's not as efficient, because your focus is spread between 2 jobs. There's no way you're going to run them both at 100%. And if you do, I'm in the wrong lane. If you do run them both at 100%, the way the PIP works, you're going to get double your pay anyway. So there's really no downside there. But I think that's the point. Like, if I'm doing 2 jobs, I want double pay. Like, I think that'll be the biggest argument, but I could be wrong. I don't think I ever actually took a sip of the coffee. I think I just opened it. So I pulled it off the server. I emailed it to myself at work. I don't know why. I just panicked for a second. I thought I might have forgot my briefcase. Because I said I mailed it to myself at work, but my laptop is right here, so I mailed it to myself at work from home. Clarify that. So the Pat Sajak show, like I said, it was kind of like burnt coffee and skunky beer. It wasn't a very good show, but I liked it. The format change, like when that happened, that was just horrific. And that's what's going to happen today with my show. I'm going to upload this footage raw, without all that grainy blue, black, greenness. Yeah, we can all just park here. Why not? Set up camp. What is there, a school bus? What the heck's going on here? There's a green light. I see yellow. Yeah, it's a school bus. School's for losers. Stay out of kids' school. Yeah, I'm aware I screwed that up. I don't stand by that statement. I think school is very important. You want an educated population. But 80% of my subscribers homeschool their children. So I have a very unique demographic of subscribers. Business owners, homeschoolers, raised in the inner city, the tough streets of Philadelphia. Business ownership, like I own, other than my this crazy 9-to-5, like I've alluded to the fact that I have other businesses on the side, and I think most people have side gigs, even if they don't realize they have side gigs. At some point they do other things for money, whether it's like a full-fledged legitimate business or just other side hustles where they're working, doing things for people. Sometimes it's not even for money. Sometimes it's for favors or just for social. Like, I'm doing this because you're my friend. It's still a side hustle. There is a payment there. But the I guess where I was going to go is I won't go into it deeply here, but there are interesting things that happen when you're a business owner. There are certain things that you run into. Like I said, I'm not going to give any detail. I'm kind of curious as to whether or not my subscriber, my viewer, wants to put anything in the comments to have me talk about, like things that like he's run into. Like I know some of the drama that's occurred in his side hustles, like besides his home business, which is a fascinating story. Like, he was working for the man and then he became the man, but he's also had other businesses besides that he's been partners in. And I mean, other than the stuff I know, is there stuff that like we haven't discussed that you didn't realize was going to be an issue? This might be a tough one because since you started your own business, there probably weren't a lot of surprises when you got into that other side hustle. But I'm curious as to whether or not there are, and if there are, and I can reciprocate if I can find a parallel in things that I've done. I'll go on at length about that and force you to like basically be in an echo chamber where you're just hearing what you said spouted back at you. When watching yesterday's video with my wife, what you just saw there, me drinking coffee with two hands, like I did that at one point in the video, and in such a way that it looked like if I had a third hand, that third hand would be holding the coffee cup too. Like, I don't know what the heck that's about. Every once in a while, I just put way too many hands on the coffee cup. I tried to catch myself from cursing there. I know I already dropped an F-bomb earlier, so this is already not kid-friendly. What are you going to do? It's so hard for me to keep my G rating. Like I said, when I post these videos, it does give me a choice. Is it made for... Like, I don't block kids from watching it, but I do specifically say that this was not made for children. I should stop saying that because, like, it's probably, like, I mean, other than the casual cursing, there's nothing that adult about it. I mean, other than the fact that it's boring. And if you associate being boring with being an adult, then this is an adult channel. I'm just imagining that these phrases, like in the post-processing, the part that I say takes a long time, I have to imagine, because you can turn on the words that go at the bottom, Comcasting, closed captioning, and so by saying, like, so since it recognizes what you're saying, these words get flagged. So I know when I say certain things, like what I just said a few moments ago, I'm sure that's got to throw up some kind of flag where they, like, suddenly intensely keep reviewing the video before they post it because, like, you know, just the word adult just has many connotations. I don't know, I could be making all this up. It just might take a while to process because that's how long it takes to process an hour and a half video, and a lot of ones and zeros to sort out. I think I scratch my face awkwardly when I'm on camera. I don't think I've watched, like I said, I've scrolled through some of my videos and I watch myself and I do these weird things like this. Like, I don't do this in real life. Like, why do I do this when I'm on camera? Maybe I do and I just don't realize it. My viewer will let me know. Let me know in the comments, like, how messed up am I? Am I like just really weird to be around? Am I just like this awkward ball of like weird fidgets and what do you call it? Mannerisms? I don't know. I hate to be one of those people. Like I have friends who are friends and acquaintances that are really smart, but really awkward. Like, I'm awkward. I'm not the king of awkward, but I'm like maybe the page of awkward. Duchess. I'm the Duchess of awkward. But I've friends and acquaintances who are just like, they're just like really, they exist awkwardly. there's just something about they can't even stand without being awkward. There's just I feel awkward, but there's this whole, some of my friends take it to this whole other level. Not friends I hang out with all the time, and if you are those friends, you may know who you are, and nothing bad about it. Like, I'm impressed to the level that some people can just, their presence can extend beyond their physical body. What the hell am I talking about? I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to stop talking about it. Duchess. Probably not a good choice. That's going to stick with me for the rest of my life. Someone's going to like make up a sticker, like put it on my card, the Duchess of Awkward. I'm at a red light. How many of you were expecting me to turn that into a tirade about red lights and things like that? I was. I literally thought, like, I saw the second and a half tick by, and I'm like, he's about to segue into something just like that. He's just going to start talking about red lights or the history of traffic lights, and I didn't. I'm as shocked as you are. Like, I literally expected that to happen, and there was nothing. It was just crickets. It's a little unnerving, really. I'm also considering, again, with the format changes, oh my god, I'm also considering maybe I'll start it later in the drive, but maybe I will show the, it'll make for a shorter video because I want to show, for some reason I feel as though it's a little safer in this format to show a little more of the trip, because you're really not seeing anything, you're just seeing the inside of the car. You might pick out a landmark or two, but what does it matter? Still political signs up on the side of the road. there was a rule against that. I guess they have to spot them, but I thought you got fined if they were up a certain amount of time after the election. That might only apply to Republican candidates. I wasn't being salty. Oh man, do I want to dive into the great divide of people today? Like, I hope most people realize that we're being brainwashed and we're being split. Like, just because someone may claim that they're a Republican or a Democrat or a conservative or a liberal, it doesn't, like, I don't know, it seems like it's become the new flavor of racism. Like, all you Republicans are the same. Like, we're not. I'm like, I don't even agree with the Republican Party anymore. It's kind of been tainted with a lot of buffoons. Like, what I am is a fiscal conservative. I'm not a heartless bastard, but I hate how much, like, we've been divided into two groups and how much we're being told to hate each other, and like, this is what they want. Like, no, not everybody who's this believes in this, and this. And so it's, you don't even want to talk about like what your political affiliations are, or like anything, like, or any of the hot button topics, because people are really passionate about them, and there are certain hot button topics I'm not necessarily passionate about. I may be, but I don't want to share my opinions on them because they're hot button personal topics, like, that really are that really affect individuals. It's hard to make a black and white rule to cover everybody when everybody's situation is different. So I hate to even say this because I know someone will just snip this little part out, and I'll refrain. I'll explain my go-to thing in person if you ask me about it. It's a funny little saying I have that pretty much ends any conversation about anything political or, like, hot button topics. But if it's taken out of context, if the statement itself exists in a vacuum, it sounds horrific, and it's not. You can't take the statement in a vacuum. You have to understand why I'm saying it. Specifically because it's not true, and it's obviously not true. But if it's said in a vacuum, like, here's an example of something being said in a vacuum that people take out of context. Bruce Willis. Who likes Die Hard? Who doesn't like Die Hard? Die Hard's a great movie. If you don't believe Die Hard's a great movie, why are you even watching my channel? Not that the two are related, just I don't want you looking at me. If you don't like Die Hard, stop looking at me. You can look, I don't care. I really don't care. So there's two camps. There are those that believe, there might be three camps. There are those that believe that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and there's those that believe Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. The third camp is people who don't care. But I guess there's a fourth camp. Some people think it's a St. Patrick's Day movie. Those people are delusional. So it is a Christmas movie. If you believe otherwise, you are incorrect, and that's okay. But so Bruce Willis was on stage recently, and he was talking about his career and things like that. And then, so it's this big build-up. It's a build-up to a gag. So he's talking about his movies, his career, like all the things he's played. And then at one point he says, "Let me settle this once and for all." There's going to be some cursing here. "Let me settle this once and for all. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie." And that's what they take. They take just that little snippet of what he said. He said, "Let me settle this once and for all. Die Hard is not a Christmas movie." Well, that's not fair, because that's not the whole statement. After he says Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, he says it's an effing Bruce Willis movie. Like, just, it's kind of just a joke, ego, thing. He's joking around. Like, he's not really saying it's not a Christmas movie. He's like using that as the leverage to get the punchline in there that it's a Bruce Willis movie. First and foremost, it's a Bruce Willis movie, which was really, really funny. But unfortunately, they're just circulating that snippet. And I hear people talking about it. Oh, yeah, he said it's not a Christmas movie. Like, yeah, let me see. Yeah, they're just like, they do that in politics all the time. They will cut something in such a way that, it's like, all Republicans eat babies. Like, we know that. There's no point in chopping things up to make it look like we're saying that. We all openly admit it. All Republicans eat babies. Not all Republicans. Oh yeah. All Republicans eat babies. So anyway, that's my point. Why I'm not saying the other thing, because my viewer might grab it. My single viewer could take the statement out of context, post it, and then people, the torches and the pitchforks. Like, I'm so done with that scene. And I've talked about religion and other things. Like, I like philosophical discussions. I hate arguments about religion. They're two separate things. Like, there's existential, existence-based conversations, like the meaning of life. I mean, you can't get to an answer, but it's nice to have the dialogue and get inside other people's heads and read books about it. Like, just try to understand the nature of reality. But when you're arguing theology from a book perspective, like the User's Guide to the Universe, the Bible, Quran, Tarot, or any of that stuff, it's like I don't think, for me, those discussions aren't productive because I'm not armed very well. Like, I've read the Bible a few times by accident, and it's good times. Like, I told you about the bears. That's some great stuff right there. But the discussions about existence and the meaning of life, they will often come back to religion. In fact, there's a religion center in the brain, a super center where you can pick up all your religious needs. I feel like it's taking me a long time to get here. How long have I been recording? A little over an hour. So I'll have discussions about religion to a certain degree. I can only do one air quote because my other hand is on the steering wheel. I'll do the other air quote later. And it'll be weird because it's actually the beginning end quote. So, much later in the conversation, you're going to see a beginning end quote. You're going to be wondering, what is he air quoting? But the end air quote came 15 minutes ago. It's crazy, just crazy. With the how do you get out of this dead end, Chris? You just talked yourself into a dead end that makes no sense. Whenever I get to this part of the trip, there's this road. It must have been something on the radio, but I'm always reminded of Slender Man, and I don't know why. I really don't even know that much about Slender Man. It's just certain areas, how certain aromas and certain places conjure up certain memories in your mind. There's certain smells. I went to school when I was younger, like a chump. And there was these smells that were associated with classrooms. There was, and it's kind of hard to define. It's a mixture of paste, I don't know, whatever they used to clean schools with. There's just that classroom smell. If you were blindfolded and you were walked into a classroom, at least the classrooms I was in when I was a kid, you would just know it. You would know it from those smells. Like, I want to lean on that paste smell, that paste that used to come in a drum with a brush. That had a very specific smell, and that mixed with a bunch of other smells, whether it's like freshly sharpened pencils or all this other stuff. Like, they're just, it's interesting. Like, I love that smell. Like, I would love to make a candle that smelled like an old elementary school classroom, because it's just such an innocent smell. It's like, you know, back when the world was wide open and life hadn't beaten you down yet, and you were aware of it. And you were aware of it because you're a child, you're a sponge, and you absorb everything around you. You see all these broken hunks of like adults that are angry all the time, and they're tired and complaining about the food. It's so greasy here. But yeah, it's I like that smell. Has nothing to do with Slender Man, just talking about like how that spot reminds me of Slender Man. I have no idea why. There's nothing. I have no idea. No idea. I haven't gotten any comments on yesterday's video yet. It's perfectly acceptable. I know my viewer has better things to do than waste an hour and a half every day, like reaping what he's sown. Like, this is all his fault. He told me to do this. As I said, the original concept, I might say this in every video, so I apologize if I repeat myself way too often, but the original concept was I was literally just going to sit here in silence and just at the last minute start a conversation, like some kind of provocative thing where it's like, and then like, you know, not have time to finish. Like, I'll get to it later, and do that every day. Like, just say nothing, then just at the very end, like a quick thing. Maybe I'll finish it, maybe I won't. I thought that would be funny, but it's I could sit here in silence, but like if I'm sitting here in silence, I would have the radio on. Then you've got the issue with I don't know how much of that stuff is copyrighted. I don't have the express written consent of Major League Baseball to rebroadcast any of the morning news programs, so I don't want to really have them going on. So it would be just me sitting in silence for an hour and a half every morning, which I would do because I'm a weirdo, but I think this format is better. And obviously it shows because I have a subscriber, so that's probably a much better format. I think I would lose my subscriber if I probably wouldn't lose my subscriber, right? But like, he would cheat. He would just watch the last 2 minutes of the video. So I would just be sitting in silence for an hour and a half every morning, torturing myself as a joke for a friend. So I'm not doing that. I was watching, I don't know, like, it's on the internet, so it must be true. Like, dehydration, water can cause dehydration. So apparently, you're all gonna gum this up so bad. I have the stop sign. Just go. You're gonna let me go. You're gonna let me go, but there's a guy behind you. Oh God, stop being polite. Thank you. So the issue is this. The guy is coming, I'm coming to a T-junction. The guy that's coming along the T-junction has to turn, which means he has to turn in front of me. He's being polite. He's waving me along, but unfortunately, there's a car behind him. There's cars behind him that are going around him. So if I go, I'm going to crash. He doesn't realize that. It's, don't be polite. Like, it's not politeness. Just follow the rules of the road. If I have a stop sign, let me stop. You go, because you don't have a stop sign. You have the right of way. Just go. Stop being polite. You're ruining it for everyone. So water can dehydrate you. So what I was watching, like, it was like a Facebook reel, like I freaking doom scrolling. to start a counseling group for that. My wife's guilty of it too. You'll just like scroll through these reels, and like again, it's just over 90% of it's just terrible content. Guys acting surprised when nothing actually happened. I can't believe they did this. Look at that. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. You're just putting. You're not even timing the audio to anything. You're just like slapping that audio on just 15 seconds of. Anyway, that aside, water. So I was watching this reel, and apparently people are getting dehydrated because water's a solvent, and if you drink demineralized water, like filtered water, you're not getting the minerals, which means you're actually washing the minerals away from your body. That's concerning. So I'm wondering, because we drink a lot of filtered water. Every weekend I'll fill 24, 36 bottles. Like I bought Perrier, one of those, the ones that come in the green glass bottles. So there's Perrier, and then there's the one I actually buy. What the hell is it called? Anyway, it's mineral water. Comes in these tall glass bottles. We don't use the lids that come with them. They're aluminum lids. They crack and whatever. They don't break. They it's got the safety seal. Anyway, Coke bottle lids fit on these glass bottles. So I use the plastic Coke bottle lids on these glass bottles. Every weekend I refill all these mineral water bottles with filtered tap water. So we have a refrigerator downstairs full of filtered water. I wash them first. I specifically bought a dishwasher that would work for this, that I could line up these bottles in the back on the racks so that they can be cleaned. It was really important. It was actually a major part of the buying process of the dishwasher, was to make sure that I could wash Perrier. It's not Perrier. It's the other one. What is the other one? Bottles in it. So anyway, so if you're drinking a lot of filtered water, you're washing the minerals out of your body, and that's concerning. And apparently somehow that leads to dehydration. I don't know. I can see mineral depletion. I don't see how it leads to dehydration, but anyway, I'm wondering, is there can I just put salt in just a pinch of table salt, or are there minerals that I can add to my filtered water to make it mineral water? And should I? How true is it that filtered water is actually bad for you because it's depleting you of minerals and dehydrating you? That's the problem. That's the problem with the internet. Oh, speaking of fake news, so I don't want to get them in trouble, so I'm not going to say the name of the company, but there's this company that sells steaks, and it's not the one you're thinking of. And they sell all these packages, steaks, chickens, things like that. And then yesterday they sent me this article. They sent me these texts, get 20% off this. It's New Year, blah blah blah. They're always sending me this stuff. So yesterday they sent me this thing. It says there could be, according to some research, there could be poop in your ground meat. I'm like, what is this freaking nonsense? So I scour the interwebs, and I find references to what they're talking about, and it's completely not true. It's extremely misleading. I sent them a text saying, can you link me to this article that you're talking about? Because I didn't say it because blah blah. I asked for a link to the article because it didn't, and it just this automated thing. If you want to talk to us, blah blah blah. So there's the one, you click on the link, you get a 404. It doesn't take you where it says they're going to take you, and then they give you an email address. And I did send an email asking where they got this. I copied the text of their text that they sent to me, and I sent it back to them and asked, cite your article here. Where are you getting this information? because I know it's false information. This thing's been circulating since 2015. It's not true. People, like, again, it's people taking one little sentence in an article and like just saying, well, this company found this. No, they didn't. They absolutely did not. They found a marker which could imply it, but they didn't find it. And so that kind of misrepresentation like just rubs me the wrong way. Like, and you, like I said, you see it all the time. Like, the internet is just full of all of this bad information where people don't, like, they either lie or they don't cite. Like, if they're not citing where they got their information, then like I don't trust it. Like Facebook is just rife with that stuff where people just say stuff. It's common knowledge. Like, no, it's not. Like, where you're saying it's common knowledge because you saw someone else say it, but it's not necessarily true. Like, where's the research? Like, where did you get this information? Don't tell me Google it. Like, no, you apparently already found it. Tell me where you found it. And I say that because, like, I'm going to Google it and I'm not going to find it. Like, I'm going to find out that it's not true. I'm going to find a bunch of articles that are easily debunked, is mostly what happens. Like, you know, it's just nonsense articles that somebody put out there, again, without citation. So it's just this rabbit hole of uncited documents. I'm going off on a tangent here, and unfortunately it's the end of the show. Have a wonderful day.